Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. So we'll continue with writing polity. Today the questions are a little different, maybe a little tougher also. So we'll try to be as beginner friendly as possible, right? All right. What is pressure group? Does everyone know what a pressure group is? Can someone define a pressure group for me? Activist group, unions that are working for a cause of a particular section, right? Similar interests, right? And the interest might be social, economic, or political, right? Is it a appointed organization or is it a voluntary organization of people? Non-political tool organization for specific purpose. Good. There are specific referred to as elected tyrants. Okay. Unelected tyrants, you mean? Cause of a certain people of group. Okay. Voluntary. Groups who affect the working of government through their rallies, demonstration. Pressure groups affect government policies working for special group interests. Good. So define in what all methods of influence are used. Tell me that now. Unelected tyrants. Okay. Narmada Bachao Andolan. Okay. What are the methods that are used? Yes, lobbying is used. Strikes is used. Correct. Petitions. Yes. Propaganda. Very good. They also influence elections, either by public support or by they want to place their favorable people in the place, right? So now we know what all methods are. Yes, mass mobilization. These are some of the that is called electioneering. That's called electioneering. When they want to influence the conditions in such a manner that their favorable people are sitting on a position of power. Corporate lobbying, yes. Right? Now you know what all are the methods that are used for influencing, for creating pressure. Trade unions, yes. So, do you think it is a pressure group is important for democratic participation? Why, and with examples, tell me how it is important for democratic participation. Yes, farmer protest, ADR helps in electoral reforms, grassroots democracy, yes, voice of the people directly, put forwards needs of people unseen, yes, weaker sections, the vulnerable sections of the society, voice of minority downtrodden, dissent is a safety wall of democracy, very good. Farmer protest, Anna Hazare, India Against Corruption, IAC, Lokpal and Lokayukt was brought in, very good. So with these examples, whoever is telling an example, or when you are reading an example, tell me what a general heading will become. See, first, when we are thinking about any topic, the first thing that comes in our mind is an example, and it's very normal. If you're thinking that I am doing this, and the toppers are directly thinking of a general statement and then writing example, it is not like that. So now what you have to do whenever you're thinking about something, for example, Anna Hazare, India Against Corruption led to Lokpal and Lokayuk, you have to give it a general statement. That the general statement is it helps in improving policy matters that leads to democratic participation of people. Getting my point? Are you understanding what I am saying? The examples have to be topped with the general statement so that it looks like a heading, a generalistic thing, and then you can augment it with an example. It will look like one full point that you wrote a general statement and augmented it with the example rather than the other way around. Right?
मैम regarding this question आपने
Karthik, let me finish. We will take doubts. You should not switch on your mic in middle of the question. Let's do it after end of each question. Tell me more. When we are talking about that it leads to better electoral reforms, or we are talking about PUCL, ADR, then what will be a general heading? Tell me what will be a general heading. If an example like ADR and PUCL comes in your mind, what will be a general heading? Reforms, electoral, yes, electoral process to strengthen democracy. Correct. Everybody is with me. Write in your words what is going to be your general statement when we are talking about PUCL and ADR. How does it strengthen democracy? How does this example show that it strengthens democracy? Everybody should write. Karthik, type in what is the heading for a general statement for when you're telling about pressure groups like PUCL and ADR. Resolution of conflict. No. It's about, yes. It's about electoral reforms. Brings loopholes. Example, electoral wrong. Yes, it does highlight democratic reforms making elections free and fair. Yes, very good. Election reforms curb corruption, reduces criminalization of politics, policy making. Yes, good. Give me another example. Okay, we're talking about Narmada Bachao Andolan. Tell me what is the general statement about it. Narmada Bachao, Bachpan Bachao Andolan for both. Curb illegal expenses. Okay, for electoral reforms. More reach to voice to the conventional methods. Environmental consciousness, yes. Minority and marginalized voices to public platforms, very good. Right? Voice to the vulnerable sections. Voice to the last last people of the country who do not have a political or legal voice. Right? What is the method used by pressure groups for ensuring their interest? Forest Rights Act, everybody knew. Forest Rights Act also came after pressure groups, right? Environmental democracy, okay. Use of legal mechanisms, PILs were being used, are being used actually. Yes, prayer, petition, protests, PILs, forming pressure group on government, right? We have ample number of examples now. Can you, when you write this answer, you have to include a general statement before writing a example. We will talk about it, but you have to give an example, Gauravi. When you're talking about private coaching using as a pressure group to for the narrow interest, do you have any example? Or if even if you don't have an example, what kind of pressure are they putting to the government? Okay, the last part of the question is it subverts public interest to narrow group interest. So public interest is secondary now, and the group interest becomes primary. Do pressure groups do that? Are there instances like that? International propaganda, yes. Tell me some examples. Yes, Sam's lobby in USA, very good. So what will be a general statement for it? Parochial economic interests? Yes, cartelization. Very good. Economic interests, narrow economic interests of the group. Cartelization in cement industry. Good enough. Very good example. Then what else? We can write, yes. Maybe you will not be able to write such a big example, but you can write for commercialization of education. Right? Sorry. Toolkits and farm protests, yes. Corporate lobby for their own interest. You can write this as a general statement, and then you can write about US gun lobby. Tell me more. Spreading fake news against vaccine. You can say fake news as in misinformation, but that was not particularly a pressure group. You can say that maybe you can take it in a different manner. Orthodox values. Where all orthodox? Tell me an example where orthodox values have been propagated by a pressure group. Any pressure group that you know that propagates orthodox values? Communal mobilization by for political interests. All right. Khap panchayats, very good. Khalistan movement, yes. Not orthodox values. You can say the pressure group creates disintegration of the country, right? Hampers the integration of the country. You can mention like that. It's a good example. Caste groups spreading extremism. All right. All of us have good examples, good number of examples. Tell me a conclusion quickly. What are you going to write in conclusion? If nothing else, we have already talked about pressure groups acts as safety walls of democracy, right? You can always use it, but go ahead and be further creative. Healthy functioning of democracy, yes. Fulfills political vacuum and complements administrative activities. Very good. You can tell that they act as eyes and ears of the government as they bring the voice of the most vulnerable to the government and highlight the issues. Uphold the interest of neglected. Very good. It should be a positive example, positive statement. When we are concluding a question, we can't go ahead and write that political, the pressure groups are this and that. We should ban pressure groups or we should cut fundings of pressure groups. No, right? It should be a positive, either a way forward for improvement of pressure groups or a positive one. You can go, Himanshu, you can go ahead and put your own timer and you can start writing your answer if it is like that, because discussion for others are important. Whistleblowers finding balance and reaping the potential benefits of pressure groups. Yes, right? Chalo, everybody start writing. All right, the time is up. How many of you completed? How many of you writing? Fine. CA protest is also fine. How many have not completed? And for what reason? Nobody has not completed. Everybody has completed that. Why? Goldie? All right. Straight. We have discussed it enough. Let's see the answer. Pressure group refers to voluntary organization which work towards promoting and defending their members or sections socio-political economic interests. Example, farm lobby. Methods used, lobbying, persuading officials. Example, Walmart for allowing FDI in multi-retail brand in India. Electioneering, placing favorable people in the position. Example, caste groups for political parties. Propagandizing, influencing public opinion. Example, Narmada Bachao Andolan, ADR brings out facts about criminal politics. Right, Himanshu, this is for you. Next, you can see how to reduce content. So I also had a lot of content. Use infographics and use shorter sentences. Just the main keyword and an example. That is good enough, right? Pressure groups and democracy, how it broadens the democracy, ensuring accountability of elected representative, PUCL-RTI, awakening citizenry towards its rights. Example, wrestlers' protests for this Sakshi Malik protest, improves policies, India against corruption, Lokpal, promotes wider participation. Example, Bal Panchayat, LGBTQ parades, right? Bal Panchayat shows ground realities to the authorities and improves policy through BIL. Voice to the marginalized, example, Forest Rights Act. Yes, and ADRs, NGOs like ADR can be called pressure groups because they try to influence the policies of the government, right? Okay. Then subvert. How do they subvert public interest? Lobbying for parochial economic benefits like US gun lobby. Creates law and order issue. Example, Kisan Rail Roko Andol. Might create instability in governance, Naxalism. Trying to maintain status like farmer protests. Propagandizing extremism, cow vigilantism. Promote orthodox values like, example by CAPS. CAPS is also a pressure group only, right? Pressure group act as safety wall for democracy. They must be directed to increase social cohesion and follow peaceful measures to get their voices heard. Right? Simple. All of you had told all these points when we were discussing. Right? Sorry. Just how to put it on a paper, you have to organize it. If you have more content, if you have less content, it's okay as of now, but just learn from it. Try to adopt what all you can add from this answer. Scribble it here if any extra points are there or anything that you learned from this answer. Right? So next question is, it is about, see, let me read out. It's a 15 marker. Sustenance, strength and sustenance of local institution in India have shifted from formative stage of funds, functions, functionaries to contemporary stage of functionality. Highlight the critical challenges faced by local institution in terms of functionality in recent times. Is it a tough question? Tough question? Just read it once again and tell me if it is a tough question. Sorry. No, we will not get that time, Yash. Not at all. In final, and that's why practice is so important, that it'll become very habitual for you to start writing an answer with an introduction, and the brain keeps processing what all points are going to come next, and that stage will come, right? All of the others, how are they finding this question? Is it tough? Is it easy? Okay, I'm going to give you 3 minutes. Create a structure out of it. Then we will discuss. Right? Create a structure. Just scribble some points if you can, and tell me. Just a structure would be fine. I just want to need to know your flow of answer. How are you writing the flow of your? Are you able to decode this answer or question or not? Giving you 3 minutes. Scribble the structure of the answer. Which all in 3 pages, where all you are going to write, what all headings. All right. Chalo, start writing. Okay. Now tell me, were you able to make the structure? I will just tell you about the functionality. So there is a debate about PRIs and ULBs, that funds function functionaries. Funds means पैसा नहीं है. Functions मतलब not enough powers and things have been devolved to PRIs, and functionaries as in people are not capable enough to carry out functions by PRIs or ULBs. Now the debate is shifted from the previous these funds function functionaries to functionality, कि अब ये दे दिया है उसके बाद भी काम नहीं हो पा रहा है. Then what are the reasons for that? This is a previous year question. All others, are you able to make the structure of the answer? Now, how many of you found it tough? How many of you found it easy or moderate? Yes, corruption, sarpanchpati, moderate. It's a pretty complicated question. If you're finding it easy, good. But to address the demand of the question, this is a fairly difficult question. When the question is saying these three Fs are not there, you have to assume, you have to give arguments that three Fs are not there. When it is saying three Fs are there, then you have to say, okay, three Fs are there. That is what you have to address the demand of the question, not write what you feel. Your opinions will be judged in interviews. Don't worry. But here, Abhi, you have to write what the examiner is asking. Or maybe you can give a slight hint in between that though we have moved to functionality, but still some loopholes still exist in functionaries also. Okay, no problem. It's a very straightforward actually topic in Lakshmikant. Whenever you get there, now you'll be able to realize the importance of the topic, and when you read it, no problem. You will get it. You will read it better. Yes, that is what the approach is, Imanshu. And there you won't be able to check 7.5 minutes and 10 minutes. There you will have to check every 30 minutes. So 4 questions, 10 markers in 30 minutes, and 3 15 markers in 30 minutes. That is what you should practice in the test that I'm giving you. I'm giving you very short tests because I know if I start to give 10, though not many people wrote 5 questions also. If I give 10 questions, that will create even more resistance. 2-3 people who wrote, those will also not write. So please do write. I am creating these tests absolutely for beginners. I'm creating for you to get into that habit of answer writing. The earlier you start, the better. धीरे धीरे स्टैमिना बनेगा. एकदम से तुम 20 टेस्ट का टेस्ट नहीं लिखने लगोगे. 20 क्वेश्चंस का टेस्ट नहीं लिख पाओगे. लिख ही नहीं पाओगे, बैठ ही नहीं पाओगे 3 hours. So when I'm giving you 45 minutes test, you should sit that 45 minutes. जितना लिखा जा रहा है लिखो. 4 क्वेश्चन, 5 क्वेश्चन पर लिखो. You have to start anyways. Either you start with me or the time pressure that will make you start. Right? And that will not be actually a very good time. That will be very close to the high pressure time. मेंस आने वाला होगा, या तुम लोग के पास अभी ऑप्शनल भी आ गया है और मेंस जीएस भी आ गया है और सब कुछ इकट्ठा हो गया है. इट विल क्रिएट अ ह्यूज प्रेशर. सो इट्स बेटर यू डू इट इन अ टाइमली मैनर. व्हेन आई एम पुटिंग द टेस्ट, take that opportunity to sit that 45 minutes. 45 minutes is not a big time. इतना टाइम तो हम रील देखने में निकाल देते हैं यार. Just sit on that paper. Just show up on the test paper with a pen and paper on a table and just go ahead and write it. Right? चलो, हो गया स्ट्रक्चरिंग? तो क्या करेंगे, क्या कहेंगे? फर्स्ट वी विल टेल व्हाट these local institutions are? We will tell about 73rd, 74th amendments, right? This is how we are going to start. We are going to give other, what are the other constitutional provisions of local bodies? You will be Article 40, 243, very good. Yes, elections reservation schedule. Which schedule? And what does the schedule say? What does the schedule contain? 12th schedule. What does it contain? 11, 12th schedule, yes. It contains the list of items that are under the purview of each one of the body, right? The items that have been devolved by the state to the ULBs and PRIs, isn't it? Have you read that? Have you read that list? If not from Bear Act, from Lakshmikant maybe? Yes, there are certain subjects. All right. Then tell me how do you justify that funds function functionaries is no more an issue? Tell me how are the funds available? How are the funds available? Central grants are there. Yes, they are there. Don't worry. It's not such a bad condition. Yes, Finance Commission has given certain percentage to ULBs, right? Very good. For justifying this, because there are 3 headings to justify, even if you give 2 points for each, it will be 6 points. It will be good enough to justify that funds function functionary exist. Then what about functions? What all functions have been given? Schedule 11, 12, a lot of functions have been listed for Panchayati Raj and ULBs, isn't it? PESA, yes. In PESA, PRI and PRIs form a uh, very important body for implementation of schemes. Implementation of schemes or any other thing. Convergence of government schemes and programs, very good. Taxation fees, yes. Compulsory power of taxation. Right? What are the functionaries? How can you say that the functionaries is also sorted now? Reservation, very good. Timely elections, very good. Administrative capacity is also being increased, yes. State Finance Commission is also being appointed. State Election Commission is also being appointed, right? Go ahead and see the article number. Whenever a reference of State Election Commission, State Finance Commission come, you can always refer it to an article. You can, in a bracket, you can write. It will show that how specifically you have learned those articles, how much well read you are, right? So we have justified that funds function functionaries is sorted these days, but the issue is functionality. How do we tell that functionality is an issue? There is a lack, but the question is prompting us to write that the functionaries are trained now, right? So we have to give the arguments in their in their that addressing the demand of the question. If it had said that functionaries are not working well, then we could have given about other examples. Again, it's the demand of the question that we address. We have arguments for both the sides, right? whichever way the question asks, we will write that and we will justify what they are saying. If we have an opinion, we will write it also in a balanced manner, only after giving what the question has demanded. Yes. Bureaucratic apathy. Okay, tell me, what all are the other challenges that is leading to the poor functioning, the functionality of PRIs? Lesser financial autonomy, that means tight nature of funds. Very good. Then what else? What about taxation? Parallel bodies, okay. There are parallel bodies to PRIs. Tell me some examples that are restricting the functioning of PRIs or ULBs. Caste-based politics, very good. MP lads, yes. MP lads is an alternative to PRIs management. City development, yes. SPVs are formed in smart cities where ULBs could have participated. Uh, Mismanagement of fund, okay. On grants more than taxes. Yes, PRIs have relied on grants more than taxes, according to Niti Aayog. Kingship of bureaucracy, you mean that bureaucracy's involvement in ground level democracy, democratic institutions. Still a lot of overbearing by bureaucracy. Red tapeism, corruption, okay. Then does Gram Sabha participate enough? Despite there are functions that Gram Sabha should participate, does it participate? No, right? That is an issue in functionality only. Collection leakages. Also, there are leakages. Why? Because people, they are local people only. So the taxation has to be done directly. That creates a lot of social barrier. Right? All right. Conclude karo isko. What can be some of the measures? We'll write a forward-looking, conclusive, like way forward for positive conclusion. Tell me what is the conclusion? That states should go ahead and further devolve the powers to the PRIs as recommended by so many bodies, right? Democratic decentralization, fiscal decentralization also. Right? Tell me some solutions or some things that have been taken up, some schemes name that is improving Panchayati Raj and ULB's role. Swamitwa, very good. Gram Swaraj Abhiyan, okay. Second, ARC recommends separate cadre of bureaucracy of PRIs. Okay. Local self-government was brainchild of Gandhiji. Yes, very good conclusion. Article 40 can be a very good conclusion. Vibrant village. Atmanirbhar Bharat, we have learned, right? We can write Atmanirbhar village, Atmanirbhar panchayats. You can get creative as possible in conclusions because it does catch the eye of the examiner ultimately. NRLM, power to recruit, competitive and collaborative federalism. Okay. All right. Do you guys want time to write it? Should I give you a timer or shall we discuss the answer? How many for discussing the answer? Okay, there's some people want to write. Okay, 10 minutes won't be a bad thing to give. All of you guys start writing the answer, okay? I'll we'll discuss it afterwards. All right. The time is up. How many of you completed the answer? Good. How many of you are not completed and still writing? Okay. I hope you were not short on content since we had discussed it at length. Right? Chalo, let's discuss. 73rd, 74th Constitutional Amendment Act 1993 aimed at creating units of decentralized power and authority, which is a reflection of Gram Swaraj. Through various constitutional amendment, Article 243, Part 9, 9A, Schedule 11, 12, the units have strengthened in the following aspect. Functions, Schedule 11, 12, list of provisions of local bodies. Involvement in government schemes, in implementation. What are the functionaries, how they have strengthened? Timely elections, term defined, reservation for women, SC, ST, institution of SFC, State Finance Commission, State Election Commission, 243I, 243K. Funds, Finance Commission's devolution of funds, taxation and collection powers. Through various compulsory and voluntary provisions, the institutions have been established. Its current challenges stands in functionality, that is, the usefulness of the institution in the task it performs. There are some successes also. Social empowerment, 45% of elected are women. Eyes, ears, hands of the government for last mile delivery. Holding government accountable, social audit, example in Meghalaya. Awareness of citizenry, promoting good governance. You can write it above also, here also, that some implications, some positive implications of improving funds functionaries are these. What are the challenges of functionality still being faced? Infrastructural, only 20% of Gram Panchayat have computers. Economic Survey 2020 says only 6% of resources are being self-mobilized. They have tied nature of funds, more than 50%. Social, poor capacity of representatives, proxy representation, Sarpanchpati, low participation in Gram Sabha. What are the political ones? Parallel bodies like SPV in Smart City, politicization and bureaucratization. GVK Rao committee says it is grass without roots. That it's just a body without actually having any roots in the society. Corruption and siphoning of resources. Mani Shankar Iyer committee said that instead of decentralization of fiscal powers, it is decentralization of corruption. What are the measures to improve it? Soft measures, capacity building, imparting technical know-how, strengthening Gram Sabha, People's Plan campaign, right? Economic and social development planning with the inputs of GPDP, Gram Panchayat Development Plan. What are the hard measures? Hard measures as in what are physically things that are required, tangible, devolving fiscal power and funds, using PRI ULB in scheme implementation and evidence collection for policy making. Ensuring Atmanirbhar Panchayat is the way forward to Atmanirbhar Bharat. Right? Again, I have given a lot of points. Don't get intimidated. You will get there. Don't worry. Okay? Do pick up whatever you feel. For all those who were saying that functionaries bhi nahi theek hai, how can we write like that? A lot of the times it happens. For example, we were reading about Lok Sabha speaker. So in 2020, a lot of current affair magazines had talked about Lok Sabha speaker is not being neutral, this and that. It is not a good office, like that. But the question came was, once a speaker, always a speaker. So I also started the answer with that perspective only, that I had in mind that Lok Sabha speaker is no more neutral, this and that. But later on, I realized it did not say anything about a positive or a negative evaluation of Lok Sabha speaker seat. It just wanted to ask about once a speaker, always a speaker. That can we go ahead and put one single Lok Sabha speaker for the rest of his life? Right? Are you getting my point? That the question might not be what is being asked in the usual stream. Do you guys understand what I'm trying to say when you guys are saying that functionaries hi theek nahi hai? We are still talking about that in our current affairs magazines, that we are reading about it. But the UPSC will always go ahead and ask you something that you don't know. So you have to learn to put your brain into it and write an answer that the question is demanding, not what you know.
Ma'am, can you explain again the term once a speaker, always a speaker? I was,
So
yes.
it was a fresh term. None of us had heard about it beforehand. So how we interpret it is once a speaker, always a speaker. That let a speaker post be a permanent post rather than changing with every Lok Sabha. That once a person is like CAG maybe, or somebody who will retire, like a judge who will retire after a certain age or period, rather than electing him after every Lok Sabha. Once a speaker, always a speaker. You put a person in the place, he acts as a speaker, he or she acts as a speaker for as many Lok Sabha sessions, as many Lok Sabhas that sit together without having to be elected again.
Or ma'am,
That
is
is
it
what?
related?
What?
Is it related to that speaker becomes a non-party person, like the UK system
That is just
follow?
one point. That is just one point. The whole evaluation, you could take it, and if you then start to explain, then it goes to a question about neutrality of the speaker. But the question was not that. It was asking, evaluate that would it be a good plan or not. So we had to write what are the positives of that, what are the negatives of that. That what if a person who is elected is a party person and he is elected to he is made a speaker forever? Then what will happen? He will keep favoring his own party, right? There is no written rule that the speaker should be a non-party person.
Isn't not
Right?
absurd that for the whole time one person will be the speaker?
That's absurd because we have not heard about it. That's what UPSC wanted us to analyze. So we had to write the positives of having one speaker. We had to write the negatives of having one speaker. But we didn't have to go into this, if it is a neutral seat, if it is a good behavior of speaker or not, like that. Getting my point? The content we are studying might not exactly be asked in UPSC. You can derive your knowledge from it, but you might not be able to exactly put it there. UPSC, we had been studying about funds, functionaries issues all through our preparation. But the question was asked was, what about functionaries is sorted? Now we want functionality.
Okay,
Right?
ma'am.
So be very careful when you are reading the question. Internalize the question. What is being asked is very important. Yes,
मैम
Mahesh.
जैसे ये क्वेश्चन है, इसमें पहले एक लाइन दी हुई है, उसके कॉन्टेक्स्ट में जैसे इसमें चैलेंजेस हाईलाइट करनी है, तो मैम इसमें कितना वेटेज फर्स्ट लाइन को एक्सप्लेन करने में देना चाहिए और बाद में चैलेंजेस बताने में कितना वेटेज 50-50 होना चाहिए, थोड़ा कम ज्यादा रहना चाहिए?
देखो, it depends on first how much content you have, second how much importance the question has given on each part. उसके अकॉर्डिंग you should define. Right? तो एक तो ये हो सकता है कि तुमको आता ही नहीं है, कि हमें आता ही 50% है फर्स्ट वाला पार्ट, या 50% से कम 25% ही आता है हमको. Right? So we will go ahead with that. Otherwise 50-50 भी दे दोगे then it's good. But क्या होता है generally, we know a lot about the first part. We go ahead and write 2 pages of this, then we are left with only 1 page to write the rest. That does injustice to the answer. You have to be very conscious कि मुझे रुक जाना है अब इस वाले पार्ट के लिए. All right?
और मैम फर्स्ट जो पार्ट है इसमें लिखा है फंड्स, फंक्शन और फंक्शनरीज ओके है, तो इसमें लास्ट में 2 लाइन ये लिख सकते हैं कि हालांकि ठीक है, इंप्रूवमेंट हुआ है, लेकिन कुछ इश्यूज इसमें भी हैं अभी तो.
Definitely you can write. एक्चुअली कुछ फंक्शनैलिटी में वो सेम इश्यूज रिपीट होने वाले हैं. फंक्शनैलिटी कंप्यूटर नहीं है, दैट इज ऑल्सो एन इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चरल इशू, बट इट इज ऑल्सो अ फंक्शनैलिटी इशू ना, कि हमने कर तो दिया, स्ट्रक्चर तो बना दिया, पर कंप्यूटर नहीं आ रहे हैं. कंप्यूटर आ रहे हैं तो लोगों को नहीं आ रहा है. It also is impacting the functionaries also, but also the functionality, right? So some points are bound to get repeated. So वो देखना पड़ता है, वो that you have to see that अगर मैं यहाँ लिख दूंगा ये point, then will it be repeated? It can be repeated. ऐसा कोई hard and fast नहीं है कि repeat कर दिया तो कोई number काट लेगा. No. But you have to be like, if you write the main content in introduction, what will be right? It will be a repetition in the points. तो उसको थोड़ा देख के नाप तोल के करना होता है. Right?
Ma'am, there's a question written in chat. Please, could you answer that?
Sorry? That
There's
our
a question
points
written-
feel more generalized, right?
Right, yes.
So, पहले तो we have to learn the vocabulary. How will this happen? That now that we are writing answers, we know we have to be very precise. हमें sentences को बहुत short रखना है, and we have to augment them with facts or examples. Right? जब भी आप पढ़ोगे, whenever you are going back and reading, just be a little conscious about what is the vocabulary that is being used and pick it up, so that 2 lines ka sentence gets converted into 3 or 4 words. That will make your answer look very specific. Getting my point? And
Yes, ma'am.
facts and examples, they are also going to stick to you eventually as you practice, as you read more, as you become more conscious at what you have to pick.
Okay.
And of course, recollection.
Okay, ma'am. Just a thing. That I have joined late, so it might be like you have answered in the previous sessions. But just the thing that a few of the toppers talk or something like that I have seen. So they have said कि आपको पूरा पेज भर देना है. Like अगर आपको point की कमी हो रही है, ऐसा कुछ हो रहा है, तो then you should write in paragraphs and all those things. So and आप जो बता रहे हो, कोशिश भी मेरी वही है कि उसको मिनिमम से मिनिमम वर्ड्स में अपने बात को खत्म करने की कोशिश करूँ. तो मैम ये आपस में थोड़ी
It's a
कॉन्ट्रडिक्टरी.
contradictory.
Yeah.
Okay. So eventually, when you are reading and when you are going to write mains, most of the times content ज़्यादा ही होता है, कम नहीं पड़ता है content. You can start with writing bigger sentences. That is also okay. It might look generalistic in start. Then let it look generalistic. But ensure that वो generalistic sentences में भी कुछ augmenting like facts and examples are coming. Let the example also be a bigger one. Completing a sheet of paper is important. It creates a lot of psychological impact on the evaluator. तुम
फर्क
खुद
पड़ता है मतलब.
you see a friend's copy. You tell them to write your answer. Write an answer and get it checked by you. And then you see कि आपको क्या चीजें अच्छी लग रही हैं, क्या चीजें अच्छी नहीं लग रही हैं. Then you will be able to realize what is the examiner's point of view. Reviewing each other's answers is not a bad thing. It's actually a very good exercise. You should do it.
Okay.
ठीक है? You should give each other your answers. If not like this portal's people, but जो भी और दोस्त हो, उनके आंसर चेक करो. You will realize, and when you're checking an answer also, it helps you also brainstorm what you would have written in that answer. You will definitely be able to add on 1 or 2 points. That does help. So discussions, like peer review, all these are good things for your preparation. And definitely it brings up a lot of sincere people together. That's why if you've seen a group जो होता है, a group passes the exam together. If you have realized,
Yes,
तो
ma'am.
जो लोग
I
एक
agree.
ग्रुप के होते हैं, सबका प्री एक साथ निकलने लगता है, सबका मेंस एक साथ निकलने लगता है. This is because of that, right? It's not a lonely, like Karthik highlighted. It's not a lonely exercise. It is not supposed to be a lonely exercise. This exam is not supposed to be a lonely exercise. It should be a collaborative exercise. It's a marathon that you have done. It's a relay race. It's not a sprint. So make friends, be with friends. Don't get lonely. Don't push yourself into depression. All right, be kind to yourself. Okay, you are all humans. You're all kids only as of now. So don't let that childish nature or that friendly nature take a toll because of this exam. Right? All right. ठीक है, we'll close the session. It was a pretty long session. I wanted to end polity on a high note because मुझे ऐसा लगता है polity की preparation content wise सबकी बहुत अच्छी होती है. But then this is a perfect opportunity to tell you people how to solve a complicated question and how to simplify it like that. Right? No, the tests are not going to be checked. They are for self-evaluation. Solutions are uploaded as far as I came to know. And you can get it either peer checked or any other support that you have for getting it checked. Right? All right, guys. Then we'll meet on Monday. See you then. Use the weekend well. Study productively. But stay happy most importantly. Right? Keep brainstorming. All right. Bye, guys.